Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I'm Catherine. Today we are going to be doing a sketch and we're going to be using our Heart to Help paper pack. This is the sketch that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my workshop view so that way you all can see what I'm going to be doing a little bit closer here. Okay. So this was part of our recent May 2022 virtual crop through the Creative Memories website blog. And we are going to be putting together this fun sketch that has this really cool diagonal piece. And then we're also going to be cutting a frame just to get this inner square piece cut as well. So we're going to be working on a couple different techniques. I already have my trimmer set up for the frame, so we're kind of going to go what might be a little bit out of order for some, but not for us today. So I have our Heart to Help paper pack, and hang on, I always forget which charity the proceeds are going to. The International Rescue Committee is who Creative Memories is donating all the proceeds for this Heart to Help paper pack. It's for Ukrainian relief for the refugees who have been displaced from their homes by the war going on in their country. And it's a gorgeous paper pack, but it is just a paper pack, so I want to give you some ideas on how to use it in the sketch, and we're also going to be creating some embellishments for this layout as well from other pages within the paper pack, because otherwise sometimes it's hard to figure out how to do that, and I want to give you all some ideas for that. So I do have a live stream where I introduced the entire paper pack, but for today our main pieces that we're going to be working with is this one. We're going to actually cut our frame from this sheet. Our diagonal piece is going to be from this one because we are going to use both sides of this page. And then I have a sheet of white cardstock for our base today, which is, I think, a little bit unusual for me, but that's what we're going to go with today. You're going to need your 12-inch trimmers, so go ahead and pull those out. I have my binder clips already set up to go at a 1/2 inch and at 11.5. I will try to hold it a little bit better so maybe you can see the markings. Woo! There we go. So there's 11.5 and the 1/2 inch on the trimmer where I have my binder clips, and that's what's going to stop us and help us make our frame easier. We're going to actually line up our paper at 1.5 inches. And you have to remember that you add 1 inch for where your trimmer is actually going to cut. So we're actually cutting 1.5 inch frame, but you have to put your clips at a 1/2 inch so that way you get your 1.5 inches because you have to add 1 inch. So, and then you line up your paper at the 1.5 inches. So that way you wind up with even cuts all the way around your paper. And you just keep turning. And we are going to just be using, the other time I did this frame cut, we used it on our Full Moon Fun layout. And we used the actual frame piece. Today we're going to be using the actual square piece, the center piece. So just to give you some ideas, and then later I can use this frame for another layout. If I can get my paper to cooperate and actually slide into my trimmer here a little bit better. There we go. I have to get this last one lined up nicely. So that way our square will just pop right out. Awesome. So set aside this piece, your frame piece, because that can go in a different layout. And in fact, I saw another layout on the blog that did use a frame. Maybe it'll pop up on my channel, maybe it won't. I have several other projects already in mind going on, so we'll see about that. Next, go ahead and pull out your other sheet. If you're gonna crop with me here, we're gonna go on our 45-degree line to 4.5 inches, And we are going to make that diagonal piece that runs through the paper, and then we're going to use the opposite side of the page within our square that we just cut. Oh, you know what? I forgot to change my blade. I have in my notes to use the wave blade, and I didn't on the other one, but that's okay. You know what? I can still use it on this sheet, and it'll still look nice, and it'll be all right. But if you want to make your page a little bit extra special, go ahead and you could use your scallop blade, you can use your Victorian blade, you can use your deco blade. But let's make this one a little bit more special. We also are going to be using our border makers coming up. Here we go. And one of the nice things about cutting it on a diagonal is we don't need to cut anything extra first. So here's my 4.5 again. Let's see if I'm on the line. Nope, here we go. And come on. You can tell it's Monday morning. There we go. All right, so we have those with our wave blade. I'm gonna go ahead and put my straight blade back in so I don't forget later, but you know, we could go and add the waves to this one that we've already cut, but I don't want to. I don't want to mess up our measurements for today. But you can just bear in mind next time you can add that extra design or crinkle to your pages if you have the extra blades, which you can always get on my website, and I will post the link below. Let's go ahead and get these placed down so we can see where we're at. This one is going to go corner to corner. Let me grab my tape runner here. Actually made sure I remembered my tape runners this time. I think the last time I did a live, I forgot them, which was fun. So I don't think I'm ever going to forget them again. Here we go. And we are going to try to get this lined up nicely for each corner here. Well, it looks like we're in just a little bit of white space, which is okay. And next, we're going to line this up. But we need to flip these underneath here. And actually, we can't put this piece on yet. And we actually can't put this piece on yet because in our sketch, we have an extra piece here. And you can cut a 1/4 inch strip, you can cut a 1/2 inch strip, you can take your, we use the wave blade, you can take one of your blades and make an extra little strip going this way and just take your scissors and trim off the edges. But I am going to use this really cute yellow polka dot sheet to add a little bit of pop. I wanted to bring out a little bit more of the yellow that we have in this paper. And I pulled out my Rolling Sunshine Chain Border Maker cartridge. This was in one of the recent secret boxes, and there is another secret box for sale right now. There's actually an essential secret box and a premium secret box, which sounds just so fun. I can't wait to see what's inside them. To use our border maker, you just bring up this little tray that's underneath to line up your paper. You fold it back under. This magnet holds your paper in place. You put your cartridge into the holder and you line up the notches that are both on the punch and on the holder to make your punches. Can't mute them when I'm live. Sorry, everybody. But if you have any other chain, like I also was thinking about the circle chain, but pretty much any chain border maker cartridge will work. But I just thought that this mimicked the design that's in our, oops, if I can actually grab it to show you. Here we are. These little suns almost that are in there. It's almost an exact match to our border maker. So I thought that would be fun to add to the sides, and I need to punch one more of these. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out this bottom paper holder again, bring it over, and here we go. Uh-oh, I am caught. That's not good. But you know what? I'm just going to pull it out, and we are just going to hope that this is long enough for our piece that we need, because we don't need a full 12 by 12 piece, and it's pretty much just long enough. So we're just going to go with it. It is what it is. It happens. Of course, it had to happen to me live, but that's it. And then these little fun sunshine pieces are great for confetti or to use in a shaker card or whatever else you want to use it in. Go ahead and set aside your border maker. If I can find space on my table here to put mine. Go ahead and move out my scraps real quick. And so now we have our piece that we're going to run through the side of our diagonal here. Trying to find my parchment board real quick also at the same time. So this was our one that got cut off a little bit, but it wound up being pretty much just long enough for our space that we need. So let's go ahead and get that put down. Move that out of the way. And I'm going to grab my scissors real quick and just trim off the little piece that got caught. No big deal. That's, as I always say, one of the fun things about working with paper. If you mess it up, you can always typically fix it with your scissors. No big deal. It doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while. And so now we have both our, I'm going to put it inside our edge, since we went to the trouble of pulling out our wave blade. We want to make sure to show that off too. I think, let me check. I've used my repositionable. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Used my repositionable tape so I can always move it if I don't like it, but I think we're going to go with it. Okay. And then with this one, I'm just going to use my microchip scissors to trim off the excess on this one, and I'm going to run it just inside as well, since that other one was just a little bit short on both ends. Since I placed it inside, I'm just going to go ahead and trim this one off just inside as well, probably on this one here. Here we go. There we go. I'll grab my scissors because they are awesome. They have this little special coating where the tape doesn't stick to them or build up. So now we have this little bit of extra border maker we can use on our card that we'll be doing with some of our other scraps if we wind up with scraps. So far I don't have any scraps except for the frame, which I'm not gonna put on a card because it's too big. So these two pieces are gonna come out this way, and this is gonna come in, but we actually need to move these down. We went to the point of punching. So this looks like on our sketch it's inside. Okay. Well, we need to move our sunshine chain out. So I'm going to grab my multi-purpose tool here, and I'm just running it right under where I stuck my punched piece, and we're just going to move it out a little bit because we want to be able to see a little bit more of it. And that's exactly what I said. That's why I used the repositionable tape was so that way I could move it if we needed to, and it turns out we need to. So let me go ahead and flip this over and grab this other end here. And here we go. Oops. And I'm gonna go ahead and say hi to Kathleen real quick. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's nice to have a friendly comment letting me know that y'all are here. We are just moving our border maker pieces. I used my Rolling Sunshine chain, but you can really use any chain to do this piece here, or you can even cut strips instead if you don't want to use your border maker. I'm going to grab my scissors now and just trim this off at the ends of the paper. There we go. Whoops. Of course, sticking to my table, but not sticking to my scissors. Usually it sticks to my fingers, so I'll be okay, I guess, with it sticking to the table a little bit. I'll get it cleaned up a little bit more after we're done with the live here. Okay, so now we can replace these a little bit on the inside, and we can see more of that border. And this piece, okay, this needs to go out just a little bit. So it looks like we're going to have about a 1/2 inch around here. And I'm guessing it will probably wind up with about a 1/2 inch around the other end. Do we want to go that far? Maybe we can bring it in just a little bit to center this piece. This one's a little bit tricky. I'm not going to lie. You kind of have to think about this a little bit here. Here we go. There we go. So now we can see our border. We can see our squares. We can see our diamond pieces. I'm going to go ahead and get these placed down. And I have another hi from Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Y'all need to give StreamYard permission so I can see your names. I'm so glad y'all are joining me this morning. I'm so glad I thought to post that I was going to be doing this morning and give you all a heads up. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody, on this Monday morning. I don't know about where you are, but where we are, it's getting hot. Okay, I'm going to have to use my multi-purpose tool again and bring this up a little bit. I didn't get this centered very well. And you can, with your, so I used my regular tape runner on that. And you can, if you have your multi-purpose tool, get up the regular tape runner if you kind of get it quickly. And you can see I didn't rip the paper at all. I do have one little piece here, but since we're just moving it a little bit, I'm fine with that. It really doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to try to, let's place this about here and see if I can get myself sorted out and centered here. I can tell it's Monday. I don't know, it's been a little bit of a comedy of errors since I've been sick anyways too, but there we go. We're going to get this done. We're going to persevere. It's paper. I'm not too worried about it. So, all right. So there we go. This is going on. And if I can actually make sure I get this straight, my corner's a little bit off on the top still. Let's see if I can fix this also. So maybe what you need to do is place your bottom corner and then place your paper so that way I have this angle straight. So here y'all can learn from what I'm learning as we're doing this live. See, if I was doing this on the regular recording, I probably would have edited some of that out, but that's okay. You all can bear with me and see me working through the getting it straight. That looks cute. I actually really like it so far, but we're not done yet. On our sketch, they have these where you can put little embellishments, and on the original one, they'd used our Moments collection. And so they had embellished down here and they embellished up in the top, but with this collection, like I said, being just the paper pack, it's a little bit more challenging. However, I have an idea. What I'm going to do is grab my cutting mat. I'm going to set that aside. I have my little grippy pad to put underneath my cutting mat. And we are going to cut some circles. Let's see if I'm straight here. I'm straight. Okay. So when you buy our custom cutting system circles, it comes with this really fun cutting template or sizing template. And what I did earlier was I took the sizing template, I went over we have these 2 sunflower papers, and I thought that would make just a really cute embellishment with the larger sunflower, maybe with the smaller one behind it. And so I want to cut a few of the large sunflowers, but I wanted to make sure that I got the sizing right. And so when you hold your template over one of the sunflowers, you can see that the blue will be a little bit too close, but the green looks just right. And then we still have space for the red to do our highlight around the outside. So we're going to start out with our green blade. This is the middle circle. Hang on. Yes, that's the middle circle. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab a couple of these sunflowers. You're just going to center it. I'm going to grab my green blade, and we're going to go ahead and cut out this sunflower so that way we will have a cute embellishment for our page. It'll match our pictures. And I'm going to go ahead and do 3 of them because a lot of times it's nice to do things in odd numbers. And I don't know if I'm just going to wind up using 1 or if we're going to use all 3. But we can always use it for our card if we don't use them all on our page. And then I'm going to take my red blade and I'm going to go ahead and cut this so we have a little something fun behind our little sunflowers that we cut out of our other paper. Oh, and there's Donna. Hi, Donna. I see you now. Thanks for joining me this morning. Okay, so here, this is what this is going to look like. We're going to go ahead and place this on top of here. And you can see where you can see just around the edges, you get that little highlight of the extra paper. And I'm also going to grab my hexagon punch because I thought that also would complement our rolling sunshine chain. And get those off of here. Oh, actually, I need this paper. And so we have this really nice embossed hexagon punch, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of these as well because I thought it would complement it. And with this punch, because it's an embossing punch, you need to go slow with it. And then you press a little bit harder. And then here is my, I don't know if, yep, you can see the embossing on there. So you can see where you have the nice layers of the hexagon within the paper, which makes it look just extra special and a little bit fancy. So slow and pushing hard. There we go. Okay. So let's find, well, I'm just going to leave my cutting mat up here. We're going to go ahead and put this on here. And let me grab my tape runner again. I'm going to stick my little sunflowers, big sunflowers, onto my background piece. That looks cute. We might do it as a cluster. We might do our hexagons kind of as leaves coming out the outside of our, well, how's about that? I may need a couple more hexagons. Okay, let's go ahead and get our hexagons on here first. And then that just dresses up the corners, doesn't it? Here we go. Sometimes these things work out. So here we go. We have our one corner done. And then we'll see if we want to put these other ones in our upper corner or not. I don't think we need more in this bottom corner. I think there's enough going on there with the hexagons kind of leading in. So we're going to go ahead and do this though. Let's get those on here. I don't know, maybe we need one more hexagon coming up off the top here, I think. Let me get my paper again real quick. So then that way it'll anchor both of our corners. And let's see if I can actually do this without having it on the thing. Yep. All right. So we have our, okay, yep, one more hexagon. I'm going to kind of link this in the corner up here, I think, and then we'll have these, no, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to put it down a little, coming in a little bit. Okay, so then that way it kind of becomes almost the opposite of what we have on the other end. I want to cover up the corner of this paper over here. All right, let's go ahead and get this on here. We're going to anchor this in the corner, sort of. I don't want it going off the page. And then we have our two circles. And our page, I believe, is done. Now later, after you put your pictures, you can angle your most of the with the sketch. It seems like people put most of the pictures in the center part here, over here, and you can always mat your pictures or just place them. And then you can get a little piece of white cardstock and put a little title up here, or create a little square journal box. But without having my pictures, knowing exactly where I want to put everything, I think this is good, and I'm going to go with it. And that met up with the sketch. And you know what? I don't really have any scraps hardly to do my card, but I'm still going to go ahead and put together a card for y'all because I said I was going to put together a card. So let's, I'm going to leave this out because I think I'm going to cut a couple more circles for our card. We have this piece of our punched rolling sunshine chain. Okay, let me put this down. And so I think I'm going to do a couple of circles with our rolling sunshine chain, and maybe we'll connect it with a diamond or two. What else do I have here? Oh, I still have some of this paper. So how's about we use this paper? Ooh, that almost looks a little bit too much. Let's go with the yellow side as a base for our card. So this is one of our blank cards from our Creative Memories card kits. It's a standard A2 card, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I guess we did have a little bit of a scrap from doing our punching. I'm going to go ahead and do the 5.5. If you don't feel like taking out the arm to your trimmer to do 5.5, which kind of falls right in the crease here, just measure the end of your blue marking there, your holder, the arm that comes out to extend to do the full 12 inches. Here we go. There's 4 1/4 for our base. And let me get my circle going. Oops. Now, it's a matter of which blade do we use for what? We used green for this one, and then we used red on the other one. So we're going to go ahead and I think do, well, let's see if we can get away with doing 3 again. I don't know. Actually, maybe 1 might be nice just to know, because I was thinking about actually using this as a little chain in between 2 sunflowers. So let's do that. Okay. Let me get one more sunflower here. And here we go. Okay, so we have 2 sunflowers. And I'm going to go ahead and get the base paper under it too, because otherwise I think we have almost too much yellow, and this white will break it up a little bit. So sometimes I find it's a lot easier to put the pegs into the custom cutting system before putting it on the paper, because then if you don't have the pegs in right, you're going to rip your paper, which nobody likes ripping paper, unless you actually want to do it with your tearing tool on purpose. But it's always sad when it rips when you're trying to use your custom cutting system, so we don't want that. Okay, let's go ahead and put this card together. All right. Whoops. So much yellow. I don't know. I'm actually going to flip this too, I think. Okay, make sure my card is opening on the correct side, because more than once, I don't know about y'all, but I've made an upside down card. I think we've all done that. And here we go with these. Let's get these stuck down. And okay, so there we go. We're gonna have our two pieces of, okay, this one has just a little bit of repositionable tape on this side, so I'm just going to take my finger and rub it off, which is one of the other beauties of using the repositionable tape. I'm going to go ahead and get my repositionable tape on this other side, because like I said, I think the white really makes a difference. Maybe if we can either do it this way, or how about we run this in between. Okay, whoops. Let's go ahead and do a diagonal today. And that way it's not just straightforward here. There we go. This just looks like a super fun, cheery, happy spring thinking of you card. There we go. So our card is done. Our page is done. And I think that is it for this morning. You all got to see the Heart to Help paper pack and what it can do and how you can add your own embellishments just using the same paper pack. And you can also use maybe some light blue cardstock if you want, if you didn't want the white, but I like the white because we have so much white within the pages as well. All right, let me get myself back up here. Ah, there we are. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a very wonderful Monday, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate the comment. I'm guessing this might be Donna, but I'm going to go ahead and show it. It only came in as Facebook user, but I'm so glad that you join me and that you love the bright colors of this paper pack. It is so much fun for spring and for summer, and it's nice to know that it's going to a good cause as well. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Monday. Until next time.